Hey guys, this is Thomas with the BCA, and today we're going to go over design issues. So let's get started. Chris, you had one job. Did you misspell every single one of these?
Hopefully.
All right, just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Absolutely not.
And today we also have Jonathan Bagley, who is in our page engineering department. Hey Jonathan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
As Thomas said, I'm on the Page engineering team. I'm on the mechanical side. I've been working at Page for 5 years, and as mechanical engineers, we cover the whole market sector. We do projects in everything from commercial buildings, healthcare, laboratories, and it's very exciting how many projects we get to get our hands on and how many different things we do.
How long have you been a PE?
I actually am not a PE yet. That is something I am working on.
I
Thank
thought
you
we
for
were getting
pointing
a
that out.
PE, Thomas.
Well, maybe you guys aren't popular enough for PE yet. Get those
Okay,
numbers up, you know.
okay, let's move on.
Why do you undersize ductwork? Mainly like AHU mains, exhaust mains.
So I try hard not to undersize ductwork, but an engineer could have ductwork undersized for several reasons. The architect could change the zone around, the room type can change, and maybe there's not as much QA/QC in the ductwork as there should have been.
Right, and I've had it where I've done all my load calculations and then I send out the drawings, uh, for that phase, whatever it was, 100% DD, and then I get them back for the next phase from the architects and the rooms are all changed around. And so then I have to do my due diligence, redo my loads and make sure that the ductwork gets upsized from there if the load has changed.
So I thought we were asking Jonathan about design issues, not Thomas about design issues.
Well, I was just trying to help him out.
Um,
All right, next question.
how do you mess up sequences of operations?
So sequence of operations can be messed up. I'm not saying I do it, but they can be messed up because they could be put on the drawings last, and they they don't actually check them, and sometimes all the time it's written in pseudocode.
Thomas, do you have something to elaborate with that one, like the last one?
Well, yeah, I was actually going to say that, as a design engineer, I've had it to where you have to take out the points list. You have to take out a section from the points list. You have to take out a section from the flow diagram, and you have to take out a section from the sequence of operations. So everyone starts by using a template, right? Because there's no way for any job that you'd ever start from scratch on a sequence of operation unless it's just a complete custom unit. So what I would do is, you have a sequence that handles everything, and then but your unit may be cooling only, and so then you got to take out all mentions of heat inside that unit. And sometimes you can miss sections. So I've taken it out of the sequence, I've taken it out of the points list, and maybe I missed the flow diagram. I left the sensor in there.
Next question. Why do you undersize exhaust fans?
Yeah, so again, I don't usually undersize exhaust fans, but I can see how some engineers do. When we start a project in the DD phase, not all the ductwork's laid out yet, so there's a generic static pressure that gets put onto the drawings, and then if there's not enough time or sense of mind to go back and change it, that might accidentally get left on drawings. There's other issues too that happen in renovation projects, for example, where an engineer could not be expecting as many bends or turns inside of a chase, or a chase gets relocated, and that can eat up static pressure.
So basically, most of what I heard from you is excuses from architects and not enough time. Engineers just don't have enough time, which I guess it's a good thing. We have a job and we get to double check your shoddy work. All right, move on. What gave you the right to tell
Chris,
people how to do
Chris,
their
we agreed
job?
not to use these questions. The
Oh,
last
those
one
were
isn't even for him.
sorry, they're meant for a PE.
Let's just move on.
How do you mess up AHU capacities? Seems pretty simple to me.
So AHU capacity issues, again, I try hard not to have capacity issues with my air handling unit, but sometimes, the design changes and the scope changes without the engineers getting updated. So the engineer may potentially miss something like that. Also, sometimes a client will want to reuse existing equipment, so engineers sometimes will want to help the client out and try to use an existing system, and that may be a reason why it doesn't have the capacity it should.
How do you screw up submittal reviews?
Again, I try hard not to screw up submittal reviews. I got some questions for you, Chris. Like, when you're on a job site and like, where's your favorite place to take a nap? You find
Inside
like
the
a quiet
industry,
corner?
if you're in the field, you would know that.
Because it just seems like you might have a lot of downtime and you're making up questions to try to upset someone.
Well, typically I would have downtime if engineers did their job right, which is why we're trying to do this video.
Okay, so mistakes during the submittal process, again, and I try hard not to, but there's a potential for mistakes to happen everywhere. And if there's a submittal that's written well, there's not a lot to catch. But if there's a submittal that's was rushed, there can be a lot of mistakes, and it's hard to catch every single mistake. For example, there can be 100 mistakes on a submittal that was written poorly, or someone didn't do their due diligence, and we can catch 90 of those mistakes, but then there's still 10 mistakes that go through, and it's just we can't catch everything.
Thomas, do you have anything to add to that that's worth something?
I wouldn't miss any mistake.
Yeah, well, we do. We look for contractors to help us too, to see if they can catch, things that we've missed as well. So we're not the only ones putting eyes on it. Like, you guys also look at it too, right?
Yes, we do. But just the theme here, maybe we should change the thumbnail, Thomas, to pass the buck. Let's go to the next question. Why don't you take maintenance space into account? Like, you have jobs where you can't even get the filters, you can't clean coils, you can't change motors, you can't do anything to the unit.
I try very hard to make sure I have enough maintenance space. I draw out maintenance space in my drawings. I put, red dashed lines to show that these spaces are required. I keynote it. But again, some engineers will have issues with maintenance space because we can't, or engineers can't see every single pipe that's running through a space in a plenum, for example. Like, there's tons of stuff going on, tons of cables, tons of piping, electrical conduit, and we just can't account for everything. The other thing is in mechanical rooms, we ask for a certain amount of space. Engineers ask for a certain amount of space, and they're given it sometimes, and then other times they might get taken away from them.
Thomas, do you have anything to add to that one?
Yeah. So owners, maintenance staff are the most important people in the world to me. So I would always make sure that they had plenty of maintenance space.
It makes sense to me.
I definitely try to as well. It's just it doesn't always work out.
All right, next question.
And I guess they'll give
Next
Chris
question.
more place to sleep in that mechanical room.
Question. Instead of putting out garbage designs, why don't you just ask for more time?
Again, I don't produce garbage, but I can see how an engineer can produce a subpar design. A lot of the times the architects, they get pushed to redesign stuff, and then it squeezes the deadlines and everything. And instead of, we do ask for more time, but it's not always possible. The clients have, strict deadlines that they're abiding by. And if the architect takes more time, the engineer has less time to work on the designs. There could be like last minute QA/QCs that cause things to get missed. But again, that's something that I don't experience very often.
That's not even worth responding to. Thomas, do you have something that might be worth something that we could use in this video?
No, my designs were always perfect.
Next question. Engineers suck.
Yeah, especially your spelling.
It's not even a question. All right, guys, you know what? I'm tired of this. You guys are wasting your lives. Seriously.
What are you
What do you
talking
mean?
Well, do you guys install equipment?
No,
Do you start up the equipment?
about? No,
no,
What about programming? Do you guys program the equipment?
no.
no.
Do you guys even need a degree to do your job?
No.
Do you produce anything on the project that the owner can use?
We make functional tests.
But don't you copy those from my sequence of operations?
They're in our words.
Do you guys contribute anything at all to the project?
I make comments
Make comments. Okay, so do they use your comments?
rarely.
All right, I think that's all the time we have. I thank Jonathan, for his time on the video, but it was pretty much a waste of ours. Do you have anything to add to this video?
Nah, no, dude, I'm done. I'm gonna go work on my PE.
Well, that's it for this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. And remember, when it comes to design reviews, never, under any circumstance.
Okay, was that mean enough?
That was
I didn't mean it.
perfect. That was perfect.
Just got meaner and meaner and meaner. We'll go on to the next question. Oh, that's not really a question. That's a statement.
Engineers? Nyers?
This was French. Yeah, just move
That's
on.
an excellent question, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Worked on that for about 15 minutes. It's about the length of your last design, right?
Oh man.
Oh, man. You feeling all right?
No, dude, I'm fine. It's an antibiotic. I think it just makes me sick. Like straight up.
Menstruating?
Yes.
You gotta take some Midol.
That's got to be in the outtakes.
So ASHRAE guideline 36 is a really good guideline to help with sequence of operations and controls, and it's really helped me understand how to write better controls.
Yeah, I've read that one. It's almost as good as the BCA second edition handbook.
There's a third edition.
Get the out. There's a third edition?
Yep.
Best day ever!